This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon. After years of discussion, plans are moving forward now to renovate the Lido Key Beach Pavilion and swimming pool. Sarasota City Commission approved the project last night after 5 hours of citizen input. ABC 7's Ray Collins is just back from City Hall and joined us with details of this major facelift. Ray?
You know, Scott, much of that citizen input was against the project, but in the end, a majority of commissioners voted to move forward. A private group called Lido Beach Development Partners will lease the city space and plan to spend up to $4 million to renovate the pool, add a children's splash pad, and build a 200-seat restaurant and tiki bar, ice cream parlor. Commissioner Hagan Brody said he was proud of the commissioners who voted with him on this project.
Well, it's easy to be critical of any changes. It takes guts and vision to challenge the status quo for the betterment of the entire community. And that's exactly what my fellow commissioners did last night. This is going to save a lot of taxpayer dollars. It's going to reinvigorate and update the Lido Pavilion and really bring it back up to the jewel that it is for the entire community to enjoy.
The final vote was 4-1 with Commissioner Jennifer Ahern Koch voting against the project. Many opponents felt the project wouldn't fit the character of that area. But if all goes as planned, developers will start renovations this summer and finish by June of 2019. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies make an arrest in 2 recent business burglaries. Mark Simpson is now charged in connection to break-ins and theft of 2 vehicles and more than $30,000 worth of equipment. Surveillance video showed Simpson allegedly using a stolen van to ram the doors of the businesses. 2 of the company's vans were broken into and a 3rd was missing. New this morning, the Manatee County Homicide Unit is investigating the suspicious death of a man in Mayaca City. Sheriff's deputies responded to reports of a body being found in a wooded area off Verna Bethany Road yesterday. Deputies say the death appears to be suspicious. The man's name has not yet been released, and the death is only being ruled suspicious until an autopsy is done. Time to get a check on our weather now with meteorologist John Scalzi, and you can tell something's changing in our atmosphere today.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Yeah, there's a couple things going on in the atmosphere right now. The bite kind of looks, or the bark kind of looks a little worse than the bite is going to be. Okay. But, you know, it does have kind of a gray appearance out there. Yeah. I think if you look at today, it's probably going to be very similar on Thanksgiving Day to what we're seeing today. You know, maybe the sun tries to poke through at times, but mostly a lot of cloud around, and we're going to have some showers this afternoon. Taking a look at our Lakewood Ranch webcam, thing to notice as we put it into motion is as the sun rises, you'll see a few showers pass by to the west, and there's some pretty good showers that move through parts of Hardee and DeSoto counties a little earlier on, part of the warm front, the tail of the warm front that's lifting northward across our region, producing some pretty good rain showers in inland areas. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot along the coast right yet, but I think over the course of the next couple hours we have that line of showers that's out in Gulf waters approaching that'll bring a chance at some light to moderate rainfall across some of the Suncoast and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm. The rain chance today is at about 60% this afternoon, but it won't be a total rain out, I don't think, but we could get some much needed rains between about 2 and 4, I think. The complete forecast coming up in just a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. There is new reaction today from colleagues and friends of veteran journalist Charlie Rose, the latest prominent figure facing sexual harassment allegations. At least 8 women have come forward to the Washington Post accusing the news anchor of sexual assault or harassment. The alleged misconduct involves groping, nudity, and harassing phone calls. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has more from New York.
As an actor, you're constantly observing.
News anchor Charlie Rose suspended from his CBS, PBS, and Bloomberg programs, and a CBS This Morning co-host not mincing words.
This has to end. This behavior is wrong, period.
The reaction coming after stunning and disturbing accusations of sexual assault and harassment lodged against the now 75-year-old TV icon.
What do you say when someone that you deeply care about has done something that is so horrible? That said, Charlie does not get a pass here.
8 women opening up to the Washington Post claiming Rose allegedly made unwanted sexual advances towards them. One of his former employees telling the paper he was a sexual predator and I was his victim.
One woman that we spoke to who worked for him as an intern in the 1990s recalled him coming out of the shower naked. She confided in one person. You know, the next day a male producer came up to her laughing and said, "Oh, I heard you got the shower trick."
Another accuser, a former assistant, telling the paper there were at least a dozen instances where Rose walked nude in front of her while she worked in one of his New York City homes. She says he would repeatedly call her late at night to describe his fantasies of her swimming naked. Rose is responding in a statement saying it is essential that these women know I hear them and that I deeply apologize for my inappropriate behavior. I have behaved insensitively at times and I accept responsibility for that. Though I do not believe that all of these allegations are accurate, I always felt that I was pursuing shared feelings, even though now I realize I was mistaken. The Washington Post now says since their initial reporting, more women have reached out to them with claims against Rose. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
A surprise bidder has proposed buying the Weinstein Company and turning it into a studio run by women. In a letter to the company, Maria Contreras proposes she would be chairman of a majority woman board of directors for the studio, and women would be significant investors in the company and control its voting stock. She also proposed a fund for victims of sexual harassment and assault by Harvey Weinstein. The Weinstein Company has been looking for new ownership since the sexual harassment scandal first broke. Well, even Miss Bradenton Teen is hoping to raise awareness about sexual assault. Today, she's visiting Bayshore High School to talk to her peers about teenage dating violence. 18-year-old Noelia Voigt visits middle schools and high schools and educates kids on the signs of teen dating violence. She works with the One Love Foundation, which works to ensure everyone understands the difference between a healthy and unhealthy relationship. She talks to students about what to do if they have a friend or loved one in an abusive relationship. Abusive relationships can start as early as 14 years old, which is why she says she starts at middle school.
It's really important for them to understand that now, because when they leave high school, they go to college, they need to understand what signs to look out for in someone who can potentially be abusive.
It's a reality, and the more they know, the better chances they're not going to be in that kind of situation.
Noelia Voigt says her next goal is to visit Tallahassee to try to get a law passed to incorporate her workshop into health classes across the state. And Voigt will be competing next month for the Miss Florida Teen title. We wish her well in that pursuit. Still to come in your Suncoast News, All Face Food Bank is passing out 6,000 turkeys today. I'll tell you where.
Coming up, you think this bird is beautiful? We'll introduce you to 300 of his closest friends.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now.
The biggest shopping day of the year is here, and Sunset Fiat of Sarasota invites you to experience the ultimate LBD. Long, beautiful drive, of course, because no matter which model you try on, the Fiat 500, the 500X, the 500L, or the gorgeous Fiat Spider, you're going to love the way you look and feel in your new Fiat. Prices starting as low as $13,999 during the Black Friday sales event going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're creeping up to that maximum of the day, which I think will probably be about 77, 78 degrees. We're at 74 right now, but the cloud cover really going to kind of block out the heating of the day. So we're not going to get too much more in the way of sunshine and heating before the thicker lower base clouds start to roll on in, and we get that chance of a rain shower that'll probably occur mostly between about 2 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. 66-degree dew point, that's on the rise. Dew point is lifted significantly over 24 hours. East-southeast winds now, and that southerly component to the wind helping to really bring up that moisture. The southerly component to the wind, kind of an indication of that warm front having lifted a little bit further to the north, and we're now in the, we'll call it a more stable side, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But bottom line is, I think a lot of the inland rain shower chances are going to diminish just a little bit. And now we're going to see the coastal rain chances go up a little bit. So 70 in Wauchula, 74 in Arcadia, 73 Myakka, Bradenton at 74, so Sarasota, Venice at 76, Boca Grande at 75, and Northport's at 75 as well. So across the nation, we've got a couple of weather systems which we'll continue to watch for this holiday week. We have a frontal boundary located just to the north, which will be a weather maker for guess when? That's right, Thanksgiving Day. That one will be coming down and give us a chance of showers. It'll probably produce very similar situation to what we're seeing today. That is a frontal boundary interacting with a little surge of low pressure in the upper atmosphere. It's a little pocket of cooler, unstable air kind of running right across the Gulf waters and into the state of Florida. Right now, that's what we've got going on, a warm front lifting back north. The same front that moved through over the weekend and brought us the cooler temperatures yesterday. That's lifting north now, and a little pocket of disturbed weather is kind of running across the state, enhancing rainfall chances, I think particularly for North Florida. The thing is, the further north that front moves, kind of the more stable our air becomes. Anyway, today, a good chance of rain showers, building cloud cover, and rain chances probably each day until we get to the weekend, when that next front that I talked about, still back to the north of us, whisks through here and kind of cleans away all this moisture. So here's what I'm talking about. Here's the warm front. This warm front creates forced lifting. How do you get rain? You take warm, moist air, you cause it to rise, cool, condense, and it rains out. So as this front lifts north, that kind of forced lifting is pushed further to the north as well, and we're left with a somewhat more stable environment down below it. Now, this system, as it approaches land, is going to have a tendency to fall apart, but that doesn't mean the coastal areas won't get some rain showers. It's got some ongoing right now in places, but it's very light stuff. So as we head through the afternoon, I think a light to moderate rain shower along the coast is certainly possible. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10, moderate chop on bay and inland waters. And here's the 7-day forecast. Today, about a 60% chance of showers. And then a little bit less rain chance as that impulse swings past the state of Florida. Tomorrow, 40% chance. And then that next front and the next little impulse comes our way on Thanksgiving Day with a weather situation similar to what we're seeing today. Finally, that front moves through on Friday and clears it all out for a beautiful weekend. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In today's Health Smart, one of the biggest shopping holiday weekends is almost here, and with that comes the stress that many feel during this time of year. According to a Healthline survey, 62% of people say their stress level is very or somewhat elevated during the holidays. The study cites financial demands, interacting with family, and maintaining personal health habits as some of the key triggers. But doctors say there are some simple things you can do to reduce your stress levels.
If they find themselves that they're anxious, reaching out to somebody, making sure that they understand that there is help out there for them. We also ask them to keep a budget so that they're not overspending, and therefore that stress doesn't come into play. And we also encourage them to maintain the exercise and the routines that we have been working on all year.
Doctors say the holidays can also have a negative impact on health conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure. And it is okay to enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner, but be careful with exactly how much you eat. The Calorie Control Council reports the average American consumes 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving. One nutritionist says you shouldn't skip meals in the days leading up to Thanksgiving. Stay hydrated so your body doesn't think it's hungry when all it needs is water. And try going easy on the alcohol in the days before Thanksgiving as well. As for what to do on Turkey Day, start with a protein-rich breakfast, then have a light lunch before your big dinner. Happening today, the All Faiths Food Bank is handing out more than 6,000 frozen turkeys to families in need. The organization is hoping to serve 26,000 people across the region. Today's food giveaway is happening at Roberts Arena in Sarasota and will last until 5 o'clock this afternoon. For more information on this group and how you can still help this holiday season, you can go to allfaithsfoodbank.org. Building a Better Future Together is the theme of an upcoming event. Sarasota County hosting its 12th annual Sustainable Communities Workshop on November 30th. Here to tell us more is Sarasota County Sustainability Manager Lee Hayes Byron. Lee Hayes, great to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about that theme for this year's workshop, Building a Better Future Together. What does that mean in regards to sustainability?
Well, this is our 12th annual Sustainable Communities Workshop, and in the last couple years we've actually looked backward. We've looked at all of the successes that have been put in place in the last decade since sustainability became a local commitment. And this year we want to look forward. We want to look at innovations in energy and the built environment. We want to look at ways to ensure that everyone is included in the economic and sustainability improvements that are being made. So we want to think about what's coming in the future and how we can all work together to get there.
Well, you're going to talk about a lot of things on that day-long event. One of them is going solar in the Sunshine State. And, you know, many believe we haven't really taken full advantage of solar power, especially here in Florida. What do you think standing in the way of that?
Well, there's a lot of opportunities here in Florida. We don't have as aggressive solar policies at the state level as several other states do across the country. But what we're trying to do at our workshop is focus on how we can increase solar in our community. And so we're going to talk about the innovations in the technology and the dramatic decreases in prices. So there's a lot of opportunity just in the trends of decreasing prices. We're also going to talk about the city commitment that has been made to try to reach 100% renewables in the coming decades, and there's just so much momentum locally to try to make that happen. And lastly, some of the barriers that we've seen locally when we do classes on the topic of solar is people don't know how to finance it and they don't know how to do the return on investment calculations. So we are going to talk about some financing programs that'll be coming up in the future. So while we aren't where we should be as the Sunshine State, we think there's a lot of opportunity and we want to try to encourage people to get there.
Quickly, Lee Hayes, tell me why people should be engaged in what this workshop covers and why you think they should attend. We have so much momentum in our community right now, and people are interested in it from a personal reason. They may want to save money, they may want to grow their own food, they may want to reduce their own household waste. They may be involved in this from a business perspective. We have a lot of local green businesses and clean technology businesses that are making money off of this. And we really want to encourage people to find what is passionate for them in the topic of sustainability. It's really a broad umbrella. We think everyone can connect to it. And we are going to try to focus a session at this workshop on how to be an engaged citizen. So we'll have someone talking about the various nonprofits that are doing good in our community and how you can get involved, as well as how to be an engaged citizen with local governments and how to make sure that your voice is heard. So we think there's something for everyone, and we're really excited about the diversity of topics this year. Well, I think we both agree there is a lot of passion for this subject in our community. Here are the details you need to know about the Sustainable Communities Workshop. It is Thursday, November 30th at the Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida facility, right off Cattleman Road, right near the intersection of Cattleman and Proctor. It happens from 8 a.m. until 4:30, and you can register and do it quickly. Lee Hayes was telling me it is filling up really fast, so get online at scgov.net/sustainable communities to register for this event. Lee Hayes, thank you so much for your time today, and best of luck next week.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Time now to get over to the kitchen, where Chef Pedro Flores joins us once again from the Table Creek side in Sarasota. Pedro, great to have you with us again. What's on the menu for today?
Oh, a delicious pumpkin chocolate pie, sir.
Ooh, sounds delicious. We'll be right back with you. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Did you know the parrots are the third most popular family pet? But they can live to be up to 100 years old. And when their owners are no longer able or willing to care for them, what happens to them then? Well, here on the Suncoast, they go to a sanctuary. And that's one of the many reasons that makes the Suncoast a great place to call home. Here's ABC7's Linda Carson.
Birds of Paradise Sanctuary and Rescue is home to more than 300 parrots.
We are a haven for exotic parrots from all over the country. Some come from abusive situations, some come from death in the family. Owners couldn't take care of the birds anymore.
It's located on 6.5 acres in East Manatee County.
It makes a perfect area for the parrots because we don't have very many neighbors.
This is the area for parrots that are up for adoption.
We socialize them through use of our volunteers so they stay ready to meet their forever family.
Adoptive families are carefully pre-screened.
They fill out an adoption application. They also have a home visit to make sure that these parrots are going into a good quality home.
Those birds that are not adoptable become permanent residents here.
And they're able to fly freely, they have natural foraging items, and they just love it.
Expenses here run about $6,000 a month.
We pay for this through the goodness of our supporters, and we have followers all over the world, and we apply for grants, and what we're looking for in the community is more community support.
They wouldn't be able to get by without the help of volunteers like Cindy Gordon. She loves working with the parrots.
They are very smart. They have the intelligence of a 2 to 5-year-old.
There are 4 of these aviaries out here at a total cost of $40,000, and they're buried deep in the ground to protect the birds from predators. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Linda and a new friend. John is in the kitchen now with our guest today, Chef Pedro Flores from Table Creekside. John?
Always a pleasure having Pedro in the kitchen.
Thank you for having us here, Mr. John. How are you?
Very nice to have you here, Pedro. I'm doing very well, and my goodness gracious, what a spread you have laid out before us here today.
I'm excited, sir, because we know that we have a Philippi Creek restaurant and the Table restaurant, so we open from 11 all the way to be closed.
On Thanksgiving Day.
11 o'clock, whatever the guest wants to come, we open.
And both restaurants are
Yes,
open.
sir.
Both
Yes,
restaurants
sir.
still accepting reservations.
Yes.
And just an amazing plethora of beautiful items here, which we'll discuss in just a minute.
Okay.
But we want to get to what you're cooking for us today, which
I'm
looks
mixing
fantastic.
not a traditional pumpkin pie.
Yes.
But we're using Oreo cookies.
Oh, no kidding. Cool. For the crust.
For the crust.
I see.
And then some milk chocolate.
Oh.
So we're gonna put, you put some of the crust already in there, and then you use the top just to
okay.
mold it up.
Cool.
Okay, and then you put your milk chocolate.
You like the milk chocolate as opposed to a dark chocolate for
Yeah,
this
because it's
recipe?
a little bit sweet and it's creamy.
Right.
That's one of my favorite chocolates. And then just
Mine
spread
too.
around a little bit, not like me, but spread around. Okay, and then we got some pumpkin. Okay, that's like 2 cups of pumpkin. You can get that in any store. You can find that. Okay, and then you got pumpkin spice, 1 spoon.
And I imagine that's like a mixture of
Yeah,
clove
but you know what?
and cinnamon
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
And then what makes it beautiful is the maple syrup instead of sugar. Oh, 1.5 cup.
That's seasonal.
Okay, 1 egg. Okay, a pinch of salt.
Okay.
Heavy cream.
Okay, so this is the
a half a
custard
cup.
part.
Yes.
Okay.
Just mix it up nicely. Put in the oven for 350 degrees for 40 minutes. Let it cool off.
And how many
And
of these
allow-
pies do you think you'll be cranking out?
This like maybe 400. But we have enough for our customers.
Unbelievable. You're going to be a tired puppy the next day.
I'll be happy to take care of our customers. We love our customers.
You
This
do.
is the
I
day.
tell you
Yes,
what,
sir.
The service at both restaurants is just exquisite. You really feel like $1 million when
Well,
you,
thank
when
you
you
so
walk out of
much.
the restaurant.
Our guests are our family, so that's the way
Yes.
that we treat them. Okay, and then don't get too fancy with the pie, just the pie, You don't have to do a lot of work
I
for
like
the
the
pie.
way you think.
And then put them in the oven 350, and then we have a finished product over there.
Oh, and that's it as it
That's
comes out.
it.
Isn't
That's
that
an
beautiful?
easy one.
Absolutely
That's
gorgeous.
an easy one.
So tell us about the menu that you're going to have for guests at the restaurant.
Well, Philly Peak Rib, we're gonna have a traditional turkey.
That's over here,
With all
right?
the fixings, and then this the menu is open: seafood, grouper, scallops, whatever you want in there.
Incredible seafood.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The table is gonna have a lamb chops, pork shank, veal chop, sea bass, specials, turkey, desserts, champagne, wine.
Oh, it's everything you want. I've looked at some of this pilgrim carving fest that's on your menu. Looks absolutely exquisite.
Yeah, that's the plate right there, sir. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful platter right
Absolutely.
there.
Oh, that's over there. That's
Yes.
absolutely gorgeous. Plus, you've got the Maine lobster, you've got Chilean sea bass, as you
Yes,
mentioned,
sir.
and a ribeye. Fantastic stuff. So there are still reservations available.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So give them a call.
We open. We still taking reservations. Call us, please. Come and see us. We're gonna treat you like a family that you are.
And the delightful thing is it's right there on the water, so you get it
absolutely.
right, real nice view without having to, travel over a bridge.
Absolutely.
So it's great. Thanks so much, Pedro. Happy
Yes, sir.
Thanksgiving
Thank
to
you.
you
Thank
and
you.
your family.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
always a pleasure. We're very thankful for you here at ABC7. You always bring us wonderful food and
Thank you so much.
great taste. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link page, and all the information will be there for a beautiful chocolate pumpkin pie. Yum, yum. We'll be right back.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some will take you back in time to the Civil Rights Movement or even the Civil War. You boys play nice now. From Helen Keller to Hamlet. Check out these big guns. We're talking the USS Alabama. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
It's fairly common that you're concerned about being labeled, you're concerned about the outcomes of what's going to happen, and you just don't want it to be a thing, but you don't want it to continue either.
Sexual harassment, not when it's in the news in Hollywood or in Washington, but in your workplace. I'm Alan Cohn. What you and your employer need to know at the Trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Auto Trader recently said Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. A segment best. You deserve the best. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System will continue its contract with United Healthcare. The Sarasota Herald Tribune reporting the new agreement will affect around 28,000 patients in the area. This will allow patients enrolled in United's Medicare Advantage plans to continue to have access to the hospital and its facilities. Good news for the hospital, which has been battling with United over reimbursement rates. Monday, a spokesperson with United Healthcare confirmed an agreement will be signed this week. An update now on a serious crash yesterday in the parking lot of an Osprey Walmart store. Investigators say an 86-year-old woman in a Toyota Camry hit the gas pedal instead of the brake near the post office and then drove through several bushes before hitting another car and rolling several times in the parking lot. Both drivers were taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital with serious injuries. Troopers cited the 86-year-old driver with careless driving. Efforts are underway to find the funding to build a new Palmetto Police Department. The department's current headquarters is more than 80 years old, and the city has been making efforts to replace and relocate the department for years. With a $15 million budget approval, it may finally become a reality, but it will be up to commissioners to make the final decision as to how that money will be spent. An update now on a story we've been following. One of 3 men convicted in the 2015 fatal shootings of Cantrell Brooks and his girlfriend Esther Denuse is sentenced to life in prison. Trey Nonombre was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder in September and sentenced to 3 life sentences yesterday. The victim's 5 children were in the home at the time of their murders, and the incident was all caught on security video. Nonombre is one of 3 suspects indicted on the same charges. All 3 have been since convicted of murder. Therese Jones took a plea deal back in May, agreeing to testify against the other 2 in exchange for 25 years in prison. Jimmy McNear was found guilty earlier this month and now faces up to life in prison. 6 Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies are being recognized for their heroism. Deputy Troy Stonebreaker and Deputy Stacy Brandow recognized with a Heroic Achievement Award for their extraordinary heroism after they tried to save a man from a burning building. Deputy Leo Egan is recognized with the Life-Saving Award for his efforts in rescuing a suicidal man found submerged in a pond. And Deputy Andrew Rowe and Deputy Michael Jones, both recognized with the Life-Saving Award for working to revive a woman suffering from a heroin overdose in late September. Congratulations to them. Well, chaos erupted in a Miami courtroom after a judge handed down a guilty verdict. The defendant attacking a police officer, biting his arm so hard the officer had to go to the hospital. Court officials say Godel Leville was in court for a hearing on a warrant, and a judge ordered him taken into custody. According to records, the warrant stems from an arrest in May of 2016 for battery on a law enforcement officer.
He took out a chunk of meat off his right or left hand, and he was bleeding. And then they called in, they grabbed the dude, and they tied him down. And they put a bag over his face, and he escorted him out of the courtroom.
The field's now being held without bond in the Miami-Dade County Jail. He faces additional charges now of resisting arrest and battery on a law enforcement officer. The reward has increased again to find a serial killer in Tampa's Seminole Heights neighborhood. The $10,000 contribution by philanthropist David Straz raises the total reward now to $110,000 for information that leads to an arrest. Police Chief Brian Duggan says the department has received thousands of tips, but are still asking for the public's help. Anyone with information about those shootings should call Crime Stoppers immediately in that region at 1-800-873-TIPS. We're in the middle of the busiest week of travel nationwide, and the TSA reports the number of firearms they've seized at Florida airports is on the rise, already having surpassed last year's total. As of yesterday, officers had taken 440 firearms at security checkpoints, nearly 30 more than all of 2016. Tampa International Airport is #1 in the state for guns seized, with 86 since the start of the year. Orlando International comes in second with 81 firearms, and SRQ has had only 4 firearms seized this year. Nationwide, the number of firearms seized has also increased. Federal investigators say retired pitcher Roy Halladay was performing dangerous maneuvers at a low altitude before his fatal crash earlier this month. National Transportation Safety Board says eyewitness accounts and the plane's data recorder showed the plane was flying as low as 11 feet above the Gulf. Witnesses told investigators Halladay's plane climbed to nearly 500 feet before going into a 45-degree dive. That maneuver then led to the crash. Blame on Halladay has still not been officially placed, and the investigation could take 2 more years to complete. Well, massive hurricanes didn't stop people from visiting the Sunshine State. Governor Rick Scott announcing yesterday nearly 28 million tourists came to the state from July through September. That's a 3% increase from last year's numbers around that same time period. Even though the Keys were closed for most of September due to flooding and damage there, the tourism industry in Florida employs more than 1 million people. Lawmakers have already agreed to a $76 million budget increase to visit Florida. University of South Florida named the best public university in the nation for veterans by the Military Times. The school's Office of Veteran Success offers academic enhancement programs, vet-to-vet tutoring, career mentoring, and other resources just for vets. Now, this is the 3rd year in a row that USF has ranked in the top 2 spots in the country by the Military Times. Time to get another check on our kind of cloudy, gloomy-ish weather out there today.
Indeed, it is.
Opposite of yesterday.
Yes.
I didn't see a cloud yesterday.
Right, exactly right. It's amazing how quickly the weather can, switch. But if you got up early enough this morning, just before dawn, the clouds kind of held off a little bit, so that when the sun rose, we had the high, feathery, thin clouds that had moved in, and those really lead to a beautiful sunrise.
Oh, look at that.
It was really a pretty sunrise, but then it was shortly thereafter that the thicker clouds began to kind of roll on in, and that's been the case throughout the morning hours. We're not going to see a whole lot of sunshine today, and as I mentioned, I think the sky that you see here from the Van Wezel webcam is probably very similar to the sky that we're going to see on Thanksgiving Day. Now, beneath those clouds, there is a line of more intense, higher-topped clouds indicated by those really bright white returns to the satellite off of the coastline there, the reflections from those top, high, bright cloud tops. Now, they're tending to kind of fall apart as they get closer to the shore. Can you see how that? They were a large mass and now they're a small mass, right? So they're kind of falling apart as they move into the more stable environment that's left behind as a warm front kind of lifted north. That warm front produced some pretty heavy rainfall in Hardee and DeSoto counties and is now moving up toward the Orlando area actually. But we still have a chance at some of that rain shower activity out in Gulf waters kind of making it to shore with some very light to moderate rainfall along the coastline. So about a 60% chance of that happening. It's not going to be real heavy rain though. Daytime highs held to about 77 by a little cloud cover out there. We'll have the forecast for you for the remainder of the week and the weekend ahead, which looks pretty nice, coming up in just a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. A federal judge has permanently blocked President Trump's executive order to cut funding from so-called sanctuary cities. The judge rejecting the argument the executive order applies only to a relatively small amount of money and said President Trump cannot set new conditions on spending approved by Congress. The administration has appealed that decision. A new round of lawsuits are also pending after the Trump administration separately moved to withhold a law enforcement grant from those sanctuary cities. And the Trump administration is ending temporary protected status for people from Haiti. Thousands came to the United States after a devastating earthquake there back in 2010. The temporary status protects immigrants from deportation and authorizes them to work in the United States.
Many of the individuals that were affected in the earthquake still live in tent cities. They don't have a home. So many of those people, if they go back home, they may not even have a home to live in.
More than 58,000 Haitians living under protection have until 2019 now to qualify for residency or leave the country. Whitefish Energy is stopping its work restoring power in Puerto Rico ahead of the first end date of its contract. The company claims Puerto Rico's electric utility owes it $83 million. The contract was originally for $300 million. Puerto Rico's governor moved to void it after coming under fire for giving such a large deal to a young, small company with just 2 full-time employees. Concerns were also raised after it was discovered that Whitefish's CEO and Interior Secretary Ryan Zink are from the same small Montana town. State and federal authorities are now investigating the contract.
We were never getting paid on a weekly basis of what we were spending. So at some point we had to stop, and that some point was today.
Whitefish said it had hired more than 500 contractors to complete the work and claims Puerto Rico has already approved $26 million worth of completed work. At least half, though, of all Puerto Ricans are still without power after Hurricane Maria hit way back on September 20th. Don't forget to get more updates on local and breaking news. Download our latest updated version of the ABC 7 News app. iPhone users will need to go to the App Store and re-download this app by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. The old app, by the way, will expire at the end of this month. Still to come in your Suncoast News, Justice Department is blocking a merger between AT&T and Time Warner because they claim it's bad for consumers. Why the move has become so political when we come back.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 74-degree air temperature, fair amount of cloud cover out there. Sun peeks through from time to time, but there's a lot of cloud. Dew point value coming in warm now at 66. Remember just yesterday we were talking about dew points in the 40s. So a huge, rapid increase in moisture across the region. And a southerly component to the wind is the reason for that. A warm front lifted north. Now, the front that came through over the weekend and brought us yesterday's cooler temperatures sunk south and stalled. Then it started to lift north in response to high pressure moving out into the Atlantic. When that occurred, we started to get that southerly wind flow and a little bit of moisture working in. Plus, a little disturbance out in Gulf waters approaching promises us chances of rainfall, too. Thursday, Thanksgiving, a frontal boundary will be approaching. That will finally clear it all out and bring us some pretty nice weekend weather. So good rain chances, building cloud cover, and then a rain chance really each day until we get to the weekend. There's our warm front. That's what this massive rain is here, lifting northward, leaving behind a kind of a more stable environment as that forced ascent of the air is pushed further to the north. Now the little pocket of energy out in Gulf waters approaches and kind of falls apart as it does so, with the majority of the energy kind of moving up toward the north central part of Florida. That and this will combine over north central Florida and produce the heaviest of the rain across the state today. But for us, we still have that 60% chance of some patchy, a little bit of drizzle, maybe some light showers, possibly a thunderstorm, but highly unlikely. If you look at the rainfall totals that we expect to see through tomorrow, it's clear the heaviest of the rain is going to fall to our north. But here on the Suncoast, we still have a chance of seeing perhaps as much as half-inch rains, maybe some 1-inch rains, especially in Hardee and DeSoto County. We've already gotten pretty close to that in places. But as far as heavy rainfall totals, yeah, not this round. We'll have another chance of seeing some rainfall similar to what we have seen today as we head into Thursday. We'll have a similar sort of situation. A frontal boundary will be approaching, and a little area of low pressure will start to develop on it. Before today, that little pocket of energy out in Gulf waters lifts off to the north and to the east, and then we'll wait for that second round of showers to come our way on Thursday, perhaps producing a little bit heavier rainfall then. We'll wait and see exactly how that plays out. But good rainfall chance again on Thursday. Then the front comes through, whisks it all away, and we're left with some pretty nice conditions. Across the nation, the Pacific Northwest, that's a bullseye for some heavy weather. The center part of the country gets some really cold weather, and there'll be lake effect snows for especially the easternmost Great Lakes. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10 knots today, moderate chop. And the first alert weather forecast calls for, again, good rain chances on Thursday. The front comes through and clears it all out for the weekend, which looks very nice indeed. In fact, most of Friday, I think, will be pretty nice. Scott?
Looking forward to it. Thank you, John. Thinking about getting out of town for Turkey Day? Well, you're not alone. AAA says this holiday week from Wednesday to Sunday will be the busiest Thanksgiving travel week in a dozen years. AAA projects nearly 51 million people will travel to their Thanksgiving Day destination. And if you are one of nearly the 4 million people flying, arrive early to the airport. Airports are going to be busier than in years past because tickets are the cheapest they've been in the past 4 years. And if you're hitting the highway, expect more congestion than last year. 89% of all people traveling will drive, which means 45.5 million people will be on the roads. May not be finger-licking good, but it will help you enjoy some high-tech quiet time. KFC has an internet escape pod available for sale on Cyber Monday. The Dome has a special force field, apparently, which can disrupt the World Wide Web from reaching your phone, laptop, or other devices. It even has a fried chicken leg doorknob. KFC joked it was thinking of selling the pod for more than $96,000, but in the spirit of Cyber Monday, they've changed the price to an even $10,000. Uber gets an Uber fine, $8.9 million to be exact. The fine comes because the ride-sharing company hired dozens of Colorado drivers with criminal and motor offenses. Despite those legal issues, Uber allowed the drivers to work for the past year and a half. The Colorado Public Utilities Commission charged the company $2,500 each day. A disqualified driver was on the clock.
In some places, we couldn't even tell they did a background check at all, and we found felony convictions and DUIs. In some cases, we found that they did show DUIs, revoked driver's licenses, and felonies, and allowed them to drive anyway.
Uber has been in Colorado since 2014. The investigation into this issue came about after police investigated an Uber driver accused of assault. IKEA is relaunching a recall of 29 million chests and drawers, or dressers rather, following the death of a 7th child. IKEA's CEO says the company wants to increase awareness of the recall for several types of chest and dressers that can easily tip over if not anchored to a wall. The death of a California toddler who was found trapped underneath an IKEA Malm dresser in May has raised questions about whether IKEA has effectively spread the word about this recall, which was first announced in June of 2016. The company says it emailed 13 million people about the recall just 2 months ago. The Justice Department is suing to block AT&T's $85 billion bid to take over Time Warner. President Trump had campaigned against that merger. So is the move political? ABC's Lana Zak has more now from Washington.
If AT&T takes over Time Warner, the Justice Department warns it could mean higher cable bills across the country. Time Warner owns networks like HBO, CNN, and TBS, and AT&T owns DirecTV. If the two were to merge, the DOJ argues they would be able to charge competitors hundreds of millions of dollars more for distribution rights. During the campaign, then-candidate Trump argued against the deal.
AT&T is buying Time Warner and thus CNN, a deal we will not approve in my administration because it's too much concentration of power in the hands of too few.
AT&T's chairman said the influence of the White House remains a question in his mind.
There's been a lot of reporting and speculation whether this is all about CNN. And frankly, I don't know. But nobody should be surprised that the question keeps coming up. But the bottom line is that we cannot and we will not be party to any agreement that would even give the perception of compromising the First Amendment protections of the press.
The DOJ maintains that they do not oppose the deal because of politics.
What's surprising about the DOJ blocking this merger is that historically, deals like this, where the companies are complementary but they don't overlap, get approved.
AT&T CEO says that he is not backing down and that any agreement that proposes them losing control of CNN is, quote, a non-starter. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, you can now visit a galaxy far, far away. How to travel to the Star Wars universe when we come back.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Get the best Black Friday deals right now during the Black Friday sales event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Don't just settle for what's available at a smaller lot. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab at rock bottom pricing. Or spread out in your spacious new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $11,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Auto Trader recently said Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds. A segment best. You deserve the best. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
There's a new way to experience the Star Wars universe, and this one is about as real as it gets through the magic of virtual reality. Essentially, you find yourself inside this adventure, moving through ships in space and battling stormtroopers. Starting December 16th, the day after the movie launches, you can launch from Disney World in Orlando. Just put the gear on your head and then have some fun through Star Wars. Everything is Star
cool.
Wars. That is pretty neat.
That's the future, right? VR?
That is the future of all
entertainment.
Gaming and whatever you want to do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I bet even, you know, it'll extend beyond gaming as well. Shopping, it'll be all VR and everything.
Yeah, you're right. It's cool. Have a great day ahead. See you again at 5 o'clock.